r/ask Reddit. What is a myth you are tired of hearing? That Marilyn Manson removed his ribs so he could suck his own dong. I remember hearing that in middle school. Good times. Same but in Belgium. Must have been a myth in every middle school around the world. What the duck, I heard that in high school in Hong Kong, lol. Cracking your knuckles cause arthritis. I remember reading about a doctor who devoted 50 years to disprove this myth by only cracking the knuckles of one hand. Shaving hair makes it grow back twice as thick. If this were true, no man would be bald and no teenager would have a shitty mustache. You're trying to tell me cutting your hair doesn't alter your genetic code? Preposterous. Isn't it because hair naturally tapers to a point when it grows out, but when you shave it it cuts it flat across, so it just looks thicker? That humans only use 10% of their brain. I have no clue why people would want to believe that BS. As my physics professor once responded to that phrase, depends who. That's harsh, but awesome. We only use 10% of our brain the same way we only use 33% of a traffic light. People tend to want to believe this myth because it serves to justify their shortcomings. For example, the reason I can't understand X isn't because I'm inept, but because I just haven't tapped into my brain's full potential yet. That RuneScape mobile will release soon. 10-year-old me never imagined I could cut use on the toilet. That on average a person swallows X amount of spiders a year while they are sleeping. I recently learned that this one was purely made up by someone in the early days of the internet to show how gullible people are and how easy it is to convince them of a lie. The lady who made it up is quite miffed that it has caught on the way that it has. Yep, Spiders Georg, who lives in a cave and eats 10,000 spiders a day, is an outlier and should not have been counted. That lightning never strikes twice in the same place. The duck's a lightning rod. Having to move your lightning rod around constantly after it gets struck would be annoying. No, this is not how you use a lightning rod. The actual use of a lightning rod is when you have a place where you don't want a lightning to strike. Exactly there you place your lightning rod. Eventually, a lightning strikes there. Afterwards you repair the damage and then at this place there will never strike a lightning again as it cannot strike twice in the same place. You don't have to move the rod to keep this place lightning free. According to the laws of aerodynamics the bumblebee cannot fly. It's true though. The physics police just had a big bust in my neighborhood. Took the whole hive away in cuffs. Don't bees have diplomatic immunity? They work for the queen. After all. Isn't it laws of aviation? Well, I mean, according to the FAA, bumblebees shouldn't be able to fly without a pilot's license. Women's vaginas becoming loose as a result of having men as sex partners. It can push out a human and stretch back, but dongs just kinda ruin it. Ah yes, the only muscle to weaken with use. Also that the amount size, I don't know the right word to use here, sorry, of labia minora is correlated to the amount of sex a person has had. I recall some creepy ducking Christian mom posting a picture of 2 ham sandwiches to compare her daughter's vagina with Taylor Swift's. What the duck? Vaccines cause autism. I remember reading once that people on the spectrum are more likely to work in the sciences, including in the pharmaceutical industry. So in a way, autism causes vaccines. That video games make kids violent. I don't care what you read on Facebook, Karen, but banning your kids from video games isn't gonna make them saints. Ah yeah, I remember how no child in history had ever committed a violent act before Doom came out. The good old days. Blood is not blue before it hits oxygen. People think that phone radiation can cause cancer, but they couldn't be more wrong. It is non-ionizing radiation, so the chance of it breaking a bond in our DNA is so low that will never happen. Engagement wedding rings should cost X weeks months pay. Not really sure if this is a myth that require debunking, but yes, this is incredibly stupid. I don't even think they make rings that cheap. Seriously, my so and I want to get engaged and we already have discussed not getting anything crazy for each other and we know we'll get small diamonds. Our max is $1,300 to $1,400 because that's within our budget if we save a little bit. And we don't want an expensive wedding either. We don't need to throw money around to know we love each other. Saving for the future is far more attractive to us. Any version of a pill. diet or tea that promises to detox your body. That's what your liver and kidneys are for. Every day, essential oils do not get in your bloodstream through your skin and work magic. Massage, although great for many reasons, does not release toxins. Seeds, oils, disgusting diets aren't going to cleanse you. Don't get me started on crystals and salt stones. What you think are toxins aren't. It is a marketing gimmick. Want to efficiently get rid of waste and potentially harmful crud in your body? Wait a day. Let your organs do their job. The Holocaust didn't happen. Two guys at my job were arguing on whether it was real or not. One guy trying to tell the other that it was real, while the other was convinced it didn't happen. I was just like, are you ducking kidding me? Shaving makes your hair grow back thicker. Heath Ledger improvised the faulty remote bit in TDK. Michael Caine forgot his lines the first time he saw the Joker in TDK. Neil Armstrong congratulated a neighbor on oral sex from the moon for something he overheard as a child. I didn't even know Neil Armstrong was in that film. I bet you didn't recognize him because he didn't play the trumpet. You're thinking of Louis Armstrong. Neil Armstrong is a former professional and disgraced road racing cyclist. That the majority is always correct. I believe in democracy, but I also believe most of the population is ignorant to truth, and especially on Reddit people get downvoted for uncommon thought. Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others. Message has serious negative side effects. I worked in a Chinese food restaurant in my youth. The owner's son was adamant that the message fear was just straight up racist, as it's basically in every fried fast food and snack. But the spotlight was on its presence in Asian food. That you can't terraform Mars because the lack of a magnetic field would allow solar winds to strip away the atmosphere. That was a theory proposed years ago that every armchair astronomer on the internet seems to have taken as unshakable gospel. But since then we've found other ways an atmosphere can be maintained. For example, Venus maintains an atmosphere 90x thicker than Earth's without a magnetic field. NASA has proposed a surprisingly simple way of simulating a magnetic field by orbiting a much smaller generator closer to the sun. And now recent findings have indicated that it might not even be a significant problem anyway. My job has me talking to people about terraforming on a daily basis. And I am so sick of random people informing me of this fact. That you have to have children to be complete. It's true for some people. Just like seeing the next Battlefield game reveal will make me complete. Tired of every presidential candidate being the revealed antichrist bringing the world to its destruction. Kinda died down a bit, but it will return. But it's been true every single time. Don't you remember when Obama brought about the end of days and led the armies of the beast against the faithful? The Wehrmacht didn't commit war crimes. Only the SS did. The bombing of Dresden killed 400k people and was way worse than the Holocaust. The Nazis were just trying to keep the Bolshevik hordes away from Europe. Hitler may have committed the Holocaust, but at least he liked dogs, hated smoking, and made the Autobahn. I don't understand where this comes from. Hitler liking dogs and hating smoking isn't a myth though. As someone who's allergic to milk, the belief that it's the same thing as being lactose intolerant. That Finland is real. Where is the proof? The Epic of Gilgamesh. Not near as overplayed as the Iliad, but I'll allow it. That there is such thing as a sugar high. No, Janet, you're not being hysterical because of a sugar high. You're just obnoxious. That people in the past all died early. If they lived past childhood and avoided any serious infection, they often lived a similar lifespan to ours. Black belts have to register as a deadly weapon. Bonuses on your paycheck being taxed higher. They are not taxed higher, but withheld at a different rate. Yes, you loan your money a bit to the government, but it all comes out in the wash when you file your tax return. Obviously, if it bumps you up a tax bracket, there are other considerations. On that note, the idea that getting bumped up to a higher tax bracket can make you lose money. That's not how marginal tax rates work. If you get a bonus that puts you $1,000 into a new tax bracket, only that extra $1,000 gets taxed at the new rate. Everything below that gets taxed at its lower respective rate. Give up, I've lost enough hair trying to explain this. It will trickle down. That the mill or check engine light is always caused by a faulty gas cap. Furthermore, that if you replace the gas cap and clear the light and it comes back on, then the new cap must be faulty. 2. Guys, it's a rubber seal, a spring, and what is essentially a screw. They typically don't go bad quickly unless you break it from misuse. That dealer parts are the only good parts. Dealer guys, please stop drinking the Kool-Aid. There are a lot of aftermarket manufacturers that specialize in fixing the weakness inherent in an OE part so the problem doesn't recur. Relatedly, the Motorcraft, or other OE branded, parts bought from a parts store are the same exact part as those bought from the dealership. Staunchly believing otherwise is confirmation bias. Also, there is no magic additive that you can add to gas, oil, etc. that is going to magically heal or fix your car. Cars don't fix or heal themselves. Believing that they do is anthropomorphism. Fix what is broken and stop wasting money on products that make it seem like the problem has resolved itself. That Einstein was bad at math in high school. I was at an event with some blind chemist from UC Davis giving a speech saying that you can do anything. Don't let anything hinder you. He then proceeded to say just look at Albert Einstein. He had dyslexia and never went to college. That cannabis is a gateway drug. By that logic, wouldn't alcohol be also? That you must assert your dominance over your dog by alpha rolling, biting its ear, rubbing their nose in accidents, etc. There are better ways to teach dogs obedience that won't negatively impact your relationship with them. I prefer to train my dogs so that they understand what I'm asking of them rather than making them behave out of fear. Flat Earth. YTF would you make such drama for such a non-important thing? Okay, let's say the Earth is flat, and what? Nothing has changed. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.